Hey y'all, my name's Ronnie.
And I'm Nas.
And welcome back to New Girls on the Block.
Yeah.
So this week we're going to get you started by going over a little recap of our week, and then we're going to move into our topic.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yes.
For sure. All of our topics are interesting, but that one's good too.
Mm-hmm. This week we're going to be touching on when you just have disagreements, differences, just like the conflict that you naturally is going to have with a partner and how you deal with it. Like, do y'all run? Do y'all stay?
True. And depending on how drastic the difference is,
yes.
What y'all choosing.
We're going to be getting into it today.
Yes.
So please make sure y'all continue to listen.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
So, how was your week? Do you want to start off?
Yes, my week has been good. I feel like I don't know, I just feel like I've been feeling like real good. I've been trying to get dressed every day, like just trying to take care of myself. Like, I don't know, I've been feeling real good this week. Just trying to go to the gym more often
that's good.
as well.
That's what I need to do.
Yeah, I'm about to sign up for this thing called Class Pass, where you basically get to like try a whole bunch of different classes. And you know, I'm trying to be a Pilates hottie.
Period.
Even though it looks so hard and I have no upper body strength at all.
I tried, and I just tried a home video. Girl, I was there like, please no, let me turn this off.
It seems hard, but I'm gonna try to go to like a low intensity one, like a beginner's class, and see. Cause I don't know, the TikTok girlies be looking good. They be having that just the defined stomach, and like I like it because it seems like it's low intensity workouts, but it's not like you're actually getting a workout. Like I don't like HIIT classes like that.
Yeah, that's too much. Too much.
Yeah, that's the last time I went to the gym. Is when I took a HIIT class. I was like,
Personally, I kind of like the push of things because I feel like Pilates is kind of too slow for me. It's like you be feeling it too long, you be in that like
but
burn.
That's what really tones up your muscles.
It does. I know, but it's hard. Yeah, for sure. But anything else for your week?
Besides that, I've just been working. I had an eventful weekend. Like I might have to get into that on another podcast about when people don't respect boundaries and relationships and how to navigate that.
This is other people within, like, coming out from
with the outside of the relationship and them coming in and like just trying to be a nice person but still having that respect for somebody's relationship and friendships and all that. But that might be a topic for another week because I have a lot to say.
Yeah, that story was pretty weird. I was like, juicy.
But what about you?
My week was really good. I worked. I had like a little wine work night with my team, and it was so much fun. We didn't get no work done, but we really had a good time. Like, I mean, we did get work done, but we had a good time within doing the work.
Yes.
So yeah, just like connecting, and I feel like that was like my first time really connected with my team because it's mostly work from home, but we got like a little hangout, and I feel like I really got to know more people a little bit better and really connected with them, and everybody's so cool and chill on the team. I'm like, I feel like I have like the perfect team because it's no type of weird.
Team.
Yeah, it's no type of like weirdness. Like everybody's just chill, and I like that.
Yeah,
I feel like that's needed, and I hate when it's like
catty,
unnecessary, and unnecessary. Like, why can't we just vibe and chill?
Yeah.
So it was
all getting paid to be here.
Yeah, literally.
Like nobody want to just be here. Like we're getting paid, so let's just make it fun.
Yeah, not weird, but people love making stuff weird. I don't know, but this was overall very fun, very good. What else? I went to a jazz festival yesterday. It was so fun. It was really fun, but we didn't stay too long because I don't know, they started talking too much, and I was just like, I'm here to listen to jazz, not hear y'all speech about, because it was at a college, and I didn't want to hear them speak about college, like, so yeah, I just...
Been there, done that.
For real, like, been to college, left college. I'm not there for college.
Yeah.
But overall, it was really nice. It was like a lot of like older people, but it was like, I don't know, I just felt like a vibe, and everybody was just like...
I mean, the aunties, we know how to turn up. They be chilling, they don't do too much, but they know how to get lit. They have their little coolers
for
and stuff.
Real. It was cool.
They
definitely
prepared.
Good. And it was like different vendors. We seen like beautiful like artists and stuff. Like people had like good art, and it was just good food too. Expensive though, girl.
What?
So tell me why a can of beer was $18.50 for a can.
At a jazz festival.
And I don't drink beer, but I seen that. I'm like,
are you crazy?
Are they crazy? $18.50 for a can of beer?
For a can? Not even a whole bottle? Like, that's a picture to me. Because beer's supposed to be cheap, ain't it?
Literally.
I don't drink beer, but I feel like that's one of the cheapest
I asked my husband, I was like, how much did that be? Because the thing was 18. He's like, that'd be like $3.
Yeah, they making like a 20% like
no way more. Like probably like I don't even know, like 200. I don't even know what's the
percentile.
Math is been there, done that.
Communications major here.
But yeah, I just felt like that was a lot of the stuff there was overpriced, like the food wise and stuff. I'm glad that I ate before because my sister is like, because I went with my sister and my mom and some friends and my brother and stuff. But I feel like Jacqueline is the person who like, I want to try this out, and I'm like, I'll try it from you because I'm not buying that.
Yeah, Jacqueline is like, money don't matter.
For real, a fish plate for 2 pieces of fish, like 3 shrimps and fries, $35.
They're crazy.
They
And I know it was not that good.
It was good, but girl, I
$32?
No.
You could go buy a half a pound of shrimp. Not to be that person, but
still, yeah, I feel like I don't know, and I don't like, not to say like this, but I don't like when
why you
black businesses do that too.
Yeah.
And I feel like, of course, we gotta get our come up, but if it's overpriced like that, like why? It's food.
That's more expensive than our Airmont meal today.
Yeah.
And that's an organic quality food.
Yeah.
Like what?
And we got a drink too. They got a drink.
We got the combo. Yeah. At Airmont and Payless. And that's like a fucking jazz festival out of college.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it was crazy expensive. I respect the hustle, but still, it just feels like stealing. I didn't buy it because I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of a waste of money for me. A drink, we got one little cup of drink. It was like $18 for.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so overall it was good vibes, but the expenses was crazy.
Yeah, so it's okay to charge what your product is worth, but I'm a strong believer in like fair prices.
Yeah, same.
Like I don't want who are making this to be working in a sweatshop and kill themselves, but don't make it to where it's just like
unattainable.
You could go buy that whole meal at the grocery store for the same price. Like,
I agree. So that was that. Overall, good time. Overall, way too expensive. So that was a good like little Saturday. I just chilled after that and worked the night, but mainly just work. Good vibes, chilling.
Vibing, chilling, working.
Yeah, for real. And I'm trying to get more to like just in a better mindset, because this week was, even though I was like doing stuff, it still was kind of like overwhelming with work and like still trying to squeeze stuff in and like just life stuff. But I feel like I'm trying to balance myself more and find time to get workouts in, find time to really take care of myself, because I feel like I've been eating crazy lately, and I always kind of like need to start catching myself when I'm like eating too much like breads, and not saying like that, but I do feel like breads affect me in a certain way that I don't like. Yeah. So I want to start trying to cut out.
And don't you love bread?
I do, but it don't love me.
I feel that. I like bread, but I never like. Yeah. Was like so crazy, because people don't be having good bread.
Well, not really bread in general, like pizza, stuff like that.
Just like carbs.
Yeah, like
pizza.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Bread.
Yeah.
Okay.
So carbs.
I thought you just be having bread with everything.
No. I don't eat that. I don't eat bread like that. But and when I say bread, I kind of do mean just like
carbs. Yeah, the whole grain family.
Yeah.
The whole tree. Just take it off.
For real, but yeah, I need to start cutting that out and just getting back to what I want to be, like my top self.
You're the maximum version of you.
Yes,
I feel that.
Exactly. So that's been my week. Nothing too major, y'all.
So time to get into this. Yes. The time y'all waited for.
For real.
So what we talk about this week?
This week we are talking about boundaries, respect, and a mutual understanding from like you and your partner understanding you, and basically like
and vice versa.
So do you have anything you want to start with?
I definitely do. I feel like the person I am, I feel like I'm an idealist. Like I like to live life how I imagine it in my mind to be. And sometimes that's good, but sometimes that's not the best way to approach life, especially when not everybody's looking at life as what it should be, but they're looking at it for what it is. And I feel like sometimes, like with my own experiences in my current relationship, maybe in past relationships, I feel like just understanding boundaries, like not so much how much of myself to give somebody, but respecting them as far as like bringing them around certain kind of people that they might vibe with. I just want, naturally I want everybody to get along, and everybody to just be like a party, like like this. But I'm learning as I get older, there's some people in relationships you need to stay here, here, and it's not because these people are not automatically going to get along, but it's more respecting people's backgrounds, their boundaries, and understanding. Like a lesson I'm learning is just because you have a different opinion from somebody else, like I tell myself all the time, I'm not trying to convince people to think like me. But if I'm constantly having the same conversations over and over again, I feel like it is subconsciously I'm trying to wear the person down until they have a similar view. And that's not right. And I feel like at the end of the day, you have to be able to meet people where they are. Like you could grow with somebody and it's okay to learn things together, but just constantly revisiting the same conversations.
And hoping for a different answer.
Because that's what it like. I tell myself like I'm trying to learn what you're thinking about, but then when how you think doesn't align with what I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, maybe next time I talk to him, I'll get him closer to thinking like me. But why do I need somebody to think like me? I'm not trying to date myself. Like, you know?
I agree. And maybe it's a Cancer thing because I do the same thing, and I feel like I'm just like, why are you thinking like that? Don't make sense. Because I feel like what I'm thinking is making sense, and I'm like, why don't you just do it like this? Why don't you just like, you know, like
and we mean well. We're like, if you just do it like this, it would be a better situation maybe for the world around us or for us. But it's like, no. Like people should be able to feel how they want to feel about topics. Even if you don't necessarily agree. But I do think that there's things that you could disagree on that are just like opinions. But when dating somebody and you're trying to make it a long-term thing, I do feel like y'all have to have some kind of like common moral ground or ethics ground. Like I don't want my husband like to be just a raging homophobe, and it's like everywhere we go it's like it turns into an issue. But you necessarily don't have to just be hanging out with my homegirls at the down the block in West Hollywood, or you know, like you could still be your own person.
I totally agree.
You feel me?
For me, I feel like in relationship wise, I'm more the type like I keep the open mind, and I try to like understand from his perspective and my perspective on certain things. And it's like sometimes I do feel like just like get it together. Like you don't see that that's not right, or you don't see that that's a weird way of thinking for about certain things. And it's like I try to convince like my partner or whatever that this is the way to think, this is the way to like, but it's like we don't really know
what's the proper way to think, or like we're all living out
and or even like their background, how they was like brought up and like have different ideas. Because like personally, like I'll go into a deep like a topic. Like my husband, he likes to drink, and it's not like where it's like but it's like okay, but he grew up around like he's Belizean, and all they do is party and drink. So it's like I'd be like, that's gonna affect your health in the future, blah blah blah. Like, and I'm like, why you don't just think like obvious? It's obvious.
Like if you don't put that beard on,
and I'd be like just no, like why you gotta do that? But then it's like I can't really. It's like, and he's learning like of course he's before when he was younger, like early 20s, it was like, boy, you don't have to party. Out here doing too much. So now he's getting older, he's like realizing whatever, and then he's like taking steps back and stuff. But and I feel like like you said, as time goes on, it's like, you know, when he hears it, I feel like when he hears it from me, he just thinks that it's a nag when it's really not. I'm really coming from a place of like
caring.
Yeah, like trying to understand where he comes from with that. Like, why do you think that that's okay? And he's like, blah, blah. But he just thinks of it as like, oh, she just like bugging, blah, blah. It's not a big deal. When all in all, I checked myself too with that. Because I felt like, this was recently too. And I'm like, yeah, I don't need to be so. I felt like I was starting to be like trying to like, oh, this, and it's like I'm stepping into
mom territory.
Yes,
girl. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not this man's mom, and I'm like, eventually, if like he feels like if he's gonna come to his own epiphany, if ever so, or whatever, and realize like
this is not what I'm into.
Yeah, like too much is too much, because he's cool like with surf, but sometimes he does things excessively, and it's like you don't even have, like, why are you doing so much? But now he's starting to realize, and he understands, he gets himself, he understands himself, but it's like, and I'm like, I'm falling back, it's, you know what it is,
you gotta let somebody be them still. Even I think it is a Cancer thing too, because like naturally we're so nurturing, and we want everybody to be okay. We want to fix it and like nurture like the inner child and all the people around us. But it's just like sometimes people don't need that, you know. And I feel like I got my own mom, and outside of that, we're all grown.
Exactly.
Making our own life decisions. Like,
and I felt like I was really like, I want his life to be like the life that I expect. You know, it's like, I want what I envision, but it's like, let people be their own. And it's not even, I don't know, and I'm starting to realize it's not like, because it's a difference between like, oh, he enjoys to drink, and it's a difference between, like, if it was like alcoholism, then I get it. It's like, oh, you need help. But it's like
he's just living a slightly different lifestyle than you, but your lifestyles are still similar. It's not to the point where it's just like every night you can't find your husband because he's out at work drinking, and it's like, where is he? You drive down the block with me and come find this man. Like that would be like, I'd be like, sis.
Yeah, but it's totally like he just like spirit
to party.
And it's not even the party, because it's not even like he be partying.
He be at home.
And he just like it too much, and then that's why I'm like, okay, let me not, because I feel like
he's just like, in my culture we don't eat that many carbs, but she just loves so many different types of carbs, and like in the long run that could really affect her health. But she just loves it, and and that's what, and you can look at it in
a different way, and that's what I'm starting to kind of like. And I told him, I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna be pressing no more, because I'm like realizing that, because that's the thing too. Sometimes you gotta realize where you're at fault, and where it's like boundaries, where it's like, okay, how are we gonna work this out? If that's something just because I don't like it, I don't want to be the person to just like, I don't like that, so I'm changing. You know, your lifestyle, because I want you to fit the lifestyle that I'm living.
It's kind of projecting your own desires onto somebody else.
And I'm realizing and coming to terms, and just like trying to be more understanding and not like pressure, because I'm just like, we all gonna die anyway.
Like do it really matter?
And it's not even like it's like a big thing. So I just like, I want to be healthy, and like, you know, and it's just, I don't know. It's the same, and it goes the same way. Like, because I enjoy like pastries and sweets, and I feel like how you said that too. Like, he could be like, oh, she just eat too much. Pastries and sweet, she need to cut it out, or else it's gonna affect her life. Like, we all are doing stuff that is gonna affect us.
That's not the best for us.
And eventually, like, I might cut it out, you know. And it's the same way. So,
but it's like everybody's own journey.
So I think we all gotta realize, like, we're all on different journeys, and we're all basically our own people. And you could give advice, but the main thing is not to just be like trying to be in control. And I felt like that was an issue that I had. I was like really just trying to be like, I want to control the situation. I want it to be like this, and it's like, that's kind of toxic.
It is.
I was like realizing.
And we like, it's interesting to think about because you do it with like all the best intentions. But it's just like when you do it so often, it could turn into a bigger cycle where you're trying to turn this person into a whole different person. Because it could be with something like that, or even something like me and my partner, we constantly have discussions about gender and sexuality. And my partner, he comes from a whole different part of the world. Like it's and then that part of the world, he's not exposed to as much stuff as being exposed in LA.
Like, LA especially.
They're already like kind of behind in Europe, like Ireland, but even going further, it's like, okay, Europe's kind of behind in the way they think about this stuff compared to like, not saying America's the most, America's not the most accepting places at all, but LA, and specifically the part of LA that we frequent, we work in, it's a lot more laid back, and people are very casual about, this is me, this is we, this is together, we're all just flowing together. So I feel like I've caught myself trying to like push a lifestyle on him that me myself, I'm not really even a part of that lifestyle, but I feel like it's such like an ideal way of living. Like I'm surrounded by different influences, good and bad, but in my mind I'm just like, okay, this is the ideal world I would want to live in when everybody's getting along. So I feel like I'm playing my part in making that world the world I envision, but why aren't you playing your part? But he's not living in my movie. Like that's what I have to understand. Like he's living his own life. Like we came together, we're dating, yes, but he's still on his own path. He still should be able to believe in the things he believes in. And I caught myself like thinking like, wow, like I know you have things you may disagree with your partner, but like if we have big moral disagreements, what does that mean for our future? But when I sit down and kind of like break down how I really feel about it, I'm just like, the things that I'm saying that upset me that he might not believe in, how do I really even feel about this? Because when we have discussions and I can't fully articulate even somebody else's experience that they're having, like maybe that's not my job to be trying to push a lifestyle on him that I'm not even a member of in the first place. And then it's just like, if he says he has no issues with this group of person or this group of people, why can't that just be enough? Like, why am I pushing him to be like
in the lifestyle of
when if it doesn't make him comfortable, it shouldn't be forced. As long as there's a mutual respect upon one another, I feel like that's the main thing. I just having respect for each other, and then like having respect for the person that he is. That's what I'm learning. Like, just because he has different beliefs than me, that doesn't make him a bad person. He treats people kindly. He's not stingy. He treats me well. So why would I look at him as being not a good person, or just because we believe in something slightly different? Or if we just prefer to hang out with this group or that group, you know? So
I totally agree. I feel like certain stuff and certain people, like I just feel like certain people don't have to mix with everybody in your life. And I feel like even with me and my partner, like the people who I work with and stuff, it's not like I never really, and I feel like that's something that I never really do too much. And I don't know if it's a positive or a negative, but I don't really integrate certain, I don't know, it's just like, okay, these are my friends here, these are my friends here, these are my family. It's like, you know, it's
everything
not
is separate, which I think I'm learning. I feel like that is a healthier way to live your life, because also your partner doesn't have to be like, come on, let's go do this, come on, let's go do this, because I'm hanging out with Nas, I want you to be friends with Nas too, or I want you to be friends with my coworkers. Like that, they're their own person. They're here to date you,
exactly,
not to experience the same life you're living, because they got their own life to experience.
I totally agree with that, because even with my husband and his friends, like I'll be like, go ahead, go with your risk, because Like sometimes people be like, oh, come out, blah, blah, blah. But literally, they have different stuff to talk about. It's not the stuff that I really like to talk about. It's not like the vibes is like different. And not saying it's a bad thing, but it's his group of friends are like male. They talk about stuff that men talk about, and it's like I'm just sitting there like, oh, this is boring. Like, I don't. And not saying that there's nothing wrong with his friends or whatever, but they're his friends. Yeah. They're not somebody I'm like, hey, let me call him homeboy.
Naturally befriend this person.
And I probably never would have. So it's like I felt like, and he understands. Like now, at first he was like, oh, come on, and then if I say no, it'll be like, oh, you never want to. But it's like, dude, like realize that it's not, I don't feel like hanging out with them. That's not my group of friends. So sometimes we do, and sometimes like if it's like his friends and his friends' girlfriends or stuff like that, then it'll be like, okay, more. But if it's just like the guy thing and his friends, it's like I be chilling, but then it's like, I don't want to.
It's all about being mindful about where your partner is, and then just the dynamics of your friend group. Like if he had a friend and he's always talking crazy about women, that might not bother the men he's with. But then if he brings you into that situation,
then it's like, okay,
a recipe for you to start feeling uncomfortable. And it's just like mindfulness is important too.
Yeah, and I agree. I feel like certain stuff that they talk about is like, I'd be like, not even none of my business, but it's like, I don't talk like that. I'm not about to sit here and like
listen to that.
Yeah, or even condone in a situation where it's like, this is not something that I'm. And even like if it was me and you, we talk about stuff that he don't align with, like girl stuff or whatever, and it's like, okay, I feel weird. So it's like it's boundaries in relationships where we don't necessarily need to incorporate, because I feel like everything works best when it's the people who are comfortable and who have mutual understanding and agreements with stuff. That's the best way to hang out. It's like separate, and then it works out. So I feel like that's the one thing, as long as it's like understood that everybody don't really have to be together. As long as it's mutual respect, it don't have to blend. So
that's definitely what I'm learning. I'm trying to see, should I give him a story time about my weekend, or should I wait and do it on a different episode?
I think you should. You might as well. And we can keep it. We're gonna keep it anonymous.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it. It's gonna be real vague. Okay. Y'all know how to be my business like that. But over the weekend I went to hang out with a few friends, and we ended up going to an area where there was predominantly gay men. And when I told my boyfriend, like we were going, at first we were going to go eat, but then by the time we made it there, like plans changed and we ended up going to WeHo. Okay. Once we get in that area, my boyfriend, like it never even crossed my mind, and this is what I'm talking about, being mindful, because I wasn't being mindful in that moment. I could blame it on me having a few drinks in, but the point is I wasn't being mindful of like my surroundings really and the people we were with. And we walk up to a club, and he is about to go into the club, but he sees somebody like staring him down, like looking at him from inside the bar. And he ends up saying like, I'm gonna just catch you guys later, like I don't even have my ID, like it's fine. And I'm like, like okay. Like, I didn't even think really anything of it, but then we talked about it after, and he was like, I just didn't feel comfortable going into that environment, not because I have an issue with gay men or anything, but as a straight man, I'm putting myself in a situation to be made to feel uncomfortable, to be hit on by somebody who I'm not interested in. And I don't hate this person, but I'm not attracted to that person. And like he said, like if somebody came up to him and hit on him, how can he get mad at that person because he's in their environment, And that never even crossed my mind. I'm just out here trying to have fun. I'm Lydiana, just trying to dance to some Katy Perry. And I'm not being as mindful as I could be. Like, how would I feel if he brought me somewhere in England or somewhere in Europe where it's predominantly white people and they've never seen a black person before,
or even an interracial couple.
Yeah, or interracial couple, and he knows how they get down in this area, but he's bringing me into that. I would have an issue with that.
Yeah.
You know, and I would think like, well, what did you have thought? And as easily as I can say, slip my mind, I feel like it's a lack of me being mindful of like not only him but the surroundings. And I feel like in relationships, like you learn to be better about stuff like that because you're constantly looking through a lens of like, what do I want out of life? Like, what do I enjoy doing? Like, but it's important to think for two sometimes. Yeah. Especially when you're bringing somebody into an environment. It's not like he came over to your house where he already has met you. He's met some. And like he met her man already. Yeah. Like it's a more comfortable environment to bring him in somewhere new, and then it's like not only new people that he's never hung out with, but a whole new environment that he doesn't necessarily align with. Yeah. It's a lot, you know? So I feel like he played it cool. We talked about it, and now I am more aware of stuff like that. Yeah. But I could see how that kind of like, because I'm putting myself in his shoes, like would I just been like, okay, it's a conversation and now I'm good. I would probably be thinking about that in the back of my head, like, what kind of person is he? Like, and I wouldn't blame him for thinking about that, but now that's like when it's like, okay, this happened. Am I willing to move past it and continue to learn and adjust my behaviors? Or am I going to continue to put somebody in a compromising situation based on my own desires? Because that's when it becomes really selfish, and it's you're leading with what you want and not what's good for your unit. Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like most of the time, how I think, and just in my head, I'm like, I don't want to put anybody in a position where they feel, I don't like uncomfort, like I don't like being uncomfortable anytime in life. So I be mindful of certain things that I do and like certain like ways I make people feel. And I feel like even if I was in that situation, I know, because we used to talk and I already know, like, just be like, that will make him feel like, okay, this is not a place that like, it's not a place you want to be, you know? Yeah. And it's just like, okay, I'm not about to force him to go to something like this with me because I already know it's not his crowd. Like, we could get away with it because we just girls. They not gonna look at us. They not gonna hit on us. We just having fun because we feel safe in that environment. Yeah. But imagine if it was an opposite. And it's dudes just staring you down and like trying to hit on you and like not respecting boundaries, because I feel like it's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing, and it's different. How the same way we feel about a man hitting on us seems like the same way a man would feel, because it's like aggressive. It's like not. Yeah. It's too much. So. Yeah, and that's he expressed feeling like that. He said that person was looking at me like a piece of meat. See. And it's just like. You shouldn't be, but I know I don't like when I feel like that. Me neither. So why would I want him to feel like that? And it's like he felt probably like I don't know. Yeah. Icky. Yeah. I felt okay. So my sister was kind of in a similar situation. Like she's friends with somebody who is friends with she's a lesbian, and she started talking crazy to him. Like, so my sister's in a relationship and her boyfriend's like sister-in-law has a group of friends. So she hangs out with her boyfriend's sister-in-law. And she has this one particular friend who they hang out, but then like she, I guess, is attracted to her, but then started DMing her crazy stuff, and she just like the friend started DMing your sister? Yeah, the gay friend. Saying she had dreams about her. Like, we didn't talk too much about the details of the dream. Like harassment. Yeah. Baby, what? So it's like, okay, this person is saying this stuff, and like, okay, of course you're not attracted like to her, but it's like you're not practicing boundaries. Yeah, and it's like when people are like that, and male, female, because this could go, if it was a man talking to her like that, like it would still not be a good look at all. So it's like, I don't know what the
dynamics of it is, but everybody needs to learn that everybody need to respect other people's boundaries. People are human, and if somebody is, even though he was in that space and it's a male who's in the space, they think, I don't know, whatever, but still, like, stop being predators. Like, just, like, I don't know.
I don't think in any situation, and I'm not saying that anybody who identifies as non-heterosexual, as queer, as homosexual, as trans, anybody from any like community, I'm not saying that this is a blanket statement. Yeah. But I just feel like when people, like, we're not about to pretend like gay people is just like this new invention. Yeah. But I feel like we as a society are all working towards trying to figure out how to give people equality and equity and how to treat people in a humane, fair way. Yeah. And I just feel like just as much as I, as a heterosexual woman, need to have empathy and have respect for people who are not sharing my same experience with their sexuality or their gender expression, that respect needs to be reciprocated.
Exactly. I totally agree. I feel like the whole world would be better if everybody respected each other, number one. Because respect is like the main, it's like the number one thing, respect and kindness. But if it's becoming borderline like harassment, either parties shouldn't like realize that that's wrong. And I should be able to tell somebody, I should be able to say that that's not right, or that makes this person feel uncomfortable for you to act that way towards them without it being like, oh, now it's this, now it's that.
Now I'm homophobic. Yeah. Now I don't like when no, we was all just chilling, but lines need to be drawn. Like, I'm not gonna let a black person, if you're my friend and I bring my Latina friend or my Latino friend and you start talking crazy about people of Latin origin, Mexican, Salvadorians, it's weird. It's gonna be weird, and I'm gonna look at you crazy. Yeah. Like, we share the same identity. We could be as close as peanut butter and jelly. Yeah. But that's weird, that's you showing a lack of respect not only for me but for the other person I'm bringing into this party. Exactly. And it's making me look at you with a side eye now.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, I brought this person or like around this person, and now it's like, why are you? I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. So overall, I think that's why boundaries should be set, and separation is key, because most of the time it's like, and not even like, first of all, everybody need to respect each other. That's number one. But some people don't. So it's like, I don't want to bring anybody in a situation where respect is not reciprocated. And it is going to make me look at the person. If I do that, and I think that's where because I overanalyze everything. Same. So I feel like the people who I bring around, I'm like, if they say something crazy and they are, like, I don't know, I try to make sure.
Like the domino effect of how this could end up happening.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's no point to bring somebody around, you know, and not saying where it's like disrespectful, but I'm just saying, like, some people just don't align and some people's energies don't match. So this group of energy is not the same as this group of energy that I hang out with. So I just try to keep it cute, keep it fun. I like hanging out with these people for this reason. I like hanging out with this people for this reason. I like hanging out with this people for this reason.
And that's okay, not everything. Yeah. And that's what I really like. Because this is not the first relationship where I found myself like, I'm getting a little too mixy with my friends and my relationship. Yeah. And it's good to an extent. Like, I feel like you and your boyfriend have a healthy relationship as far as like me and my boyfriend. Like, y'all say hi, we could get coffee or lunch together, but I'm not constantly like, Killian, come with me to the Sarah's house and sit in her house while I do this. And you know, like, I think that there is boundaries that we should have for ourselves, for our relationship, and for our friendships. I feel like as you date somebody, I feel like as long as it's not an issue that's like somebody wants to like harm somebody else or just thinking like very unaligned when it comes to personal ethics, then I feel like everything else is a learning process, because at the end of the day, we all fall short of the grace of God. In my opinion, like nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
And we're still trying to figure out life in general.
Exactly.
So when you really think about it, who am I to tell this man what to believe in? Like at all, like his experience is completely different, and we could come together and figure out some things together, but do I really want to date me?
Yeah.
Like,
I could agree to that. And even like, because I was going to touch on like friendships too, like how I have friends who turn up and like get like, they like rowdy and like have fun, drink, blah, blah, blah. And I like to be in that environment with them. But if I bring that to like my family, because you know, I bring you around family and it's like a different type of energy. If I was to incorporate that, I know it's not going to work out. So it's like, it's just like, I try to keep things different because I like to hang out with them at certain times and like to like have fun in a different way that I like to have fun with family. So it's like, and even with my husband, like I wouldn't bring him to the people who like to turn up because it's like
his whole aura is not even aligned with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I feel like that is the whole thing is like about boundaries and just understanding that it don't have to be a bad thing that they don't feel comfortable or they don't maybe not because they don't even have to necessarily not feel comfortable. They could even like
care. They could have no desire to want to hang out with this person, and just because they don't have it, that's not their friend. That's your friend. And I think a lot of people sometimes like we have to, when we're in a relationship, I feel like the couple gets so intertwined, like because they're spending a lot of time together, the identities kind of start to bleed into each other. And it's just like, okay, well, I like you for all these different reasons and we get along so good and have this in common. You'll probably like my friend because like I like them, and it's just like, no, that's not how that should work at all. Like, I agree. Like,
I totally agree. Even like, cause my husband, he works at another place and like he's like, oh, you should come by this sauna. They be talking about this, they be talking about that. But I'm just like, and you know me, like she's her like my only friend. And not saying because I'm just like I'm friendly. I like to have more so like acquaintance and like it's hard for me to really be not say friends, but I feel like a friendship is like different from I like to hang out with like I wouldn't hang out with them or blah blah. But it's like if I'm brought into a space where these people are like kind of like not my vibe, like he has a different vibe than me, so he likes to hang out with certain people that's different from me, and it's like I don't have that same connection and vibe like even with him like drinking beer, I don't drink like that, so it's like I'm coming into a space with beer people who like to drink beer, people who have fun and whatever, but it's like
I'm missing all the IPAs
for real. Like, I'm just like, this is not really my vibe, this is not really my type of environment that I like to be in, and not because it's a bad one, but it's just because it's not me. So when he says stuff like that, it's like, okay, I know, like, because sometimes he like, oh, you never like want to hang out or whatever, like, but it's like, dude, I'm different. I'm different. Yeah, so it's like I just and I don't want to ever put myself in a position where I'm uncomfortable conforming, like how the whole thing is, how if I'm uncomfortable and I'm like, oh, I gotta do this for him, I gotta go out and go to these bars for him and meet people he works with and try to be their friend
to make him happy. And it's not a good feeling. It's not a feeling that I feel good making my partner feel like that. If you watching, baby, I'm sorry.
We're still learning
and growing, but thanks for sticking beside me.
So I totally agree with that side of things. Like, it's just separations and boundaries that should be set, because even thinking about like past experiences when I was hanging out with his coworkers, it's like, oh yeah, they friends, but I don't have nothing to talk about with them, and it's like I'm trying to, but then it's like I don't know, I don't ever want to be fake and try too hard when it's like it's really not my thing. So I just want to stay home next time. Like, so I feel like overall that's the key. It's just understanding, keeping boundaries, and not taking it so harsh, like not taking it in a negative sense. Like
take it on the chin, don't take it to the heart.
Yeah, like oh, okay, they don't. It's okay. Like I would like this, but it's better off separate.
Well, outside of like the friendship situation, do you feel like there's ever like has there ever been something that maybe if you feel comfortable talking about that your partner believed in and you was really like, what? Like that you feel like, this might shape the kind of person he is in the future?
Yeah.
Or is there something that you may have believed in that you feel like your partner was like, like she maybe, like not saying you're superficial, but like an example, if you're constantly just putting everything into your looks and not your personality, like, she looks great, but like in 5 years and 10 years when I want to start a family with her, what's going to be there besides the material, you know?
Yeah, I feel like overall, because since we've been together for so long, we've had instances where it's like I'm like stuck on a certain mindset and he's on a different wave. Okay, so I can say this. And I'm still learning, like, because literally I still learn from him. He still learns from me, like, daily. Because, okay, so my partner is very kind. And he's very, like, a person who'll be like, oh, excuse me. Like, he's
timid. He's very timid.
Not even just timid, but he wants to be kind and he's a very, what's it called, type of person, like, joyous and like, oh, I'm gonna treat people, you know, like kind.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just because I'm a kind person. I'm not saying that I'm just like this mean asshole. But I don't worry about what other people think, and I don't worry about if they, because he's really like, I guess you could say timid too, because even with driving, it's like, oh, he'll be like if somebody like pulling out, I'm like, ugh, I didn't just go around. But he'll be like, oh, let's see what they're gonna do. Like, just be, he's more mindful about others. When I'm just like, kind of like, I'm just on a one track, like, it's just, I don't need to
It's
know.
just me.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm still learning that. Because when he's nice to people, like, I see that people are like, notice, and it's like, oh, like, you know, like, oh, okay. Like, because I don't be saying excuse me all the time, because I just feel like LA's dynamic. Nobody, I'm gonna be like, if y'all not saying excuse me to me, I'm not about to say excuse me to you.
I think I fall more in line with Samir with this.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna be like, stop saying excuse me.
Yeah.
Like, they're not saying you're welcome. They're not saying excuse me when they walk past you.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, that's the person I am. Like, I'm not gonna stop being me. But she's like, no.
Yeah.
You give that to people who deserve that.
That's how, and I lie with Dana, but
that's so funny because she's a Pisces.
I know, and my husband's a Pisces. But I feel like, I'm just like, yeah, like these people aren't, if they're not gonna respect me, I feel like they're not gonna respect me first, or like do something like that first, I'm not gonna be the one to do it to them. But it just, like, I like to see that about him. Like, it's like, wow, you really like are kind, and it's like, dang, should I be more kind? I should try to like be more.
You get more bees with honey.
Yeah, and I feel, and I noticed that with you too. Like, I'm more of a person who would just be like, there's no need for me to like be not really be friends, but really like put myself out there. I'm more of like a reserved person. I don't really put myself out there. I don't like I don't know, and that's.
You know, I think that's a good characteristic, believe it or not, because I've been reading a book lately and I feel like kind of, I don't know, your husband like super duper background.
Yeah.
But like I've realized recently that I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah.
And a lot of things I do subconsciously is to control the environment around me so I can have the best outcome. So I treat people very kindly, first of all, because I think it's way more easier being kind to people than being a dick. But sometimes I catch myself being overly kind, and it's just like, it's good to be a nice person, but you don't have to be so nice that even if I'm not doing it intentionally, I'm doing it to get a certain outcome. Yeah. So when I go approach this person and ask for something I need, or if I'm at Erewhon and because I was nice to the guy at the thing, next time I go, if I need something, he's going to be there when I need him. And that, you could look at that as being smart, or you could look at that as being manipulative in a certain way. Because like we all do things for a reason, and I feel like even if it's subconscious, everything has an intention behind it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, through childhood growing up and different things, like, you learn how to, like, not saying that he's not naturally a kind person and it's not from a good space, but you kind of, like, fix your behaviors to get, like, less conflict and for things to be as smooth as you want them to be. That's what I learned in that book. But like I said, I don't know if that applies to him, but I definitely resonated with that.
Yeah, I feel like with him, I don't know. I don't think it's really like, I don't want to say it's manipulative because he don't really do stuff to, because he'll be like if somebody's like in front of him, he's like, oh, excuse me, what? I'm right, you know, like kind of like just like timid and like, oh, you know, behind you, or like, excuse me. I don't be saying excuse me because I'm like,
move, bitch, come back.
And not even like in a rude sense, but I'm just like, y'all not gonna say excuse me to me. And I feel like I just got conditioned to that lifestyle because of the experience that I've experienced. So I'm like, I'm gonna be the same way. It's no point.
People do be having you messed up.
Yeah, and my outcome is I don't want to be overly kind, and if somebody start being rude, girl, it's over. Like, and I don't really. I feel like that's my kind of outlook on it, but I don't think it's too much of a healthy one. But I don't be rude. I don't like. It's like a mutual respect. I'm not about to say nothing to you. Just don't say nothing to me. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know.
Meeting the road where it's at an even level.
Yeah.
You're not giving this much. You're not downplaying anything.
Yeah.
You're just right here. We could all be right here, or we can take it there if you want to take it there.
Exactly. So I try to just keep it mellow, keep it pushing, and even with like driving, like I feel like I'm just gonna do what I gotta do to get to where I gotta go, and if somebody's like hindering that, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you know, like let's see what he's gonna do. I just be like, whatever, like they're in my way, I'm about to go around.
She having her way every time.
And I feel like, I don't know if it's just being in LA, if that's the reason or whatever, or just, you know, everybody is the same way, it seemed like. But when I see him, it's like, wow, people are really kind, because if he could be that kind, the world could be that kind, but the world isn't that kind. So,
but I think people are like, some people are more naturally inclined to be like that, to be like, it's nothing wrong the way you are, because that's a powerful in itself, like just knowing your boundaries, and also just being like, this about me. Yeah. Like, I'm navigating my life. Like, please stay in your lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane. Like, we all can be cool. Yeah. So I think that's also a good way to live your life. It's like, not saying you're not confident or anything, but it's a certain kind of like assurance that you have.
Yeah. Or even assertiveness. I feel like sometimes he kind of like lets, and I think that's what kind of what bothered me about it sometimes, is like he lets people kind of like, not really take advantage, but it's like, when it's like, you better be like that. Like, don't be nice to these people. Like, they don't really deserve kindness, not in that sense, but it's like, you know, but I feel like his mindset is very different. It's like, wow, it shows like how the world could be. But the world ain't like that. Yeah, you know?
I think it's like the opposite with me and my partner. Every time we go, I went and bought like a bath stopper, and he was like, that doesn't look like it's gonna fit. And the guy at the store, he told me they're universal, they all fit. And my partner was just like, it's not gonna fit, but if you want to get that one, you can get that one. It's gonna be fine. He looked at the router, it didn't fit. It worked for what it was. But it didn't fit the way it was supposed to fit. And he was like, I just want you to stop going out your way to be kind to these people. And they don't have your best interest in mind, because they don't care about their job. They don't they're not happy to be here to show up like you be happy to show up. And they're not living life with the same intentions as you. They really don't give a fuck. So stop treating them with not like with the respect, but don't lead with thinking that they're on your mindset and they're having your best interest. Just because you have other people's.
I totally agree. And that's how I kind of like with Samara, I'm like, dude, like everybody is not, like, I don't know, everybody's not kind. So why subject yourself to ever being put in a position where you're trying to be kind and they being rude, and it's like, you know, it's like, no. So I don't know. It's just different. I guess like I respect that about him.
Somebody and they don't smile back. I hate
girl, no.
That's one thing I'm like, I'm not even smiling no more.
Yeah.
I'm like, I look good. You staring at me. I smile back and then you don't smile. Just like today in that girl, did you see her?
No, girl.
She was staring at us so intensely and she didn't look away until I just literally just dropped my face and started staring back at her.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I'm like, why are you like say hi?
Yeah.
Like, don't be fucking weird.
That's something that I don't do is I don't pay attention to nobody and that's I feel like because Samir's very observant. He will look and see everybody in the store and like kind of like see the vibes or whatever. But he's also kind. But me personally, I'm like I have a one-track mind. When I'm in somewhere, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do what I gotta do and get up out of there. I don't care about anybody else in there really. But then that's kind of like rude. You're
the individual. He's kind of the collective.
Yeah, and he's like sometimes people like, oh, that person did so and so, and I'm like, what? Okay. Yeah, like I didn't even see. He was like, oh, or like, did you see the person with their like, like just not even like in a rude way, but like, oh,
like people
they were
kind of.
Yeah, but it's like I'm just like, no, I don't be paying attention to people because I'm here for not them,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't really ever look at people because
they're ugly. No. JK.
No.
Did I say that?
But I just like, I don't know. I just feel like if I'm looking, then it's like, I feel like that weird eye contact thing too, how you said, like, if I'm looking at somebody and then they look back and it's like awkward, I don't know. It's like,
if you seen the intensity she was staring, you would have looked at her too. Because I was like, I know there's nobody behind us right now. Yeah. And she looked interested in like what we were saying. But then she was just, it was like, she was staring at us like,
no, girl, get out of here. Like,
yeah, like, get out of here. Before you get popped.
For real.
Like, girl.
That is weird. But yeah, I just be like blanking people out because I don't know. It's just I don't think I need to really. I don't know, but I feel like I should because it could be dangerous moments,
Yeah.
But when I don't know. I feel like I have a sixth sense for stuff like that. When I send somebody like even remember when we were like at Lowe's and that weird man.
And he just kept smiling, no speaking the good English.
Yeah, and just staring and smiling at us like when we was trying to build tables, like get wood, and it's like I was like, okay, we're all good. Like, do you have a problem? And I feel like when it's a conflict, then I kind of pick up on it. But if it's like, it's no point for me to look at people if it's nothing that I need to see.
And we were trying to ignore him. He just kept following.
Yeah, it was so weird. So overall, I think that's wrapping up our episode. The battery life of this camera is like burnt out. So we're gonna wrap it up. That has been our boundaries and understanding episode. Yes. Make sure y'all make sure y'all subscribe, make sure y'all are
meeting people where they're at.
Yeah, and being more understanding about boundaries and just, keeping stuff separate that where it needs to be separate at, So
you feel us?
Yeah. If y'all have any stories about that, like, boundaries, or if y'all partners, make sure you guys are commenting. And
a time you may have crossed your own boundary, you crossed somebody else's boundary, or even somebody crossing one of your boundaries.
Yeah.
How did y'all handle it?
Exactly. So let us know. Make sure y'all are liking, I'm going to say that forever. Yes. Like the video.
Like, subscribe, share, rate, give us 5 stars so we could be pushed up in the algorithm. Period. That is life.
Yes.
We want to hear from y'all, so don't be shy. And we're going to catch y'all next time.
Period. Bye.